let's see here. So, let me set you guys here. Set you guys right there. Let me go ahead and get this shared, shall we? Alrighty then, let's go ahead and get this thing nice and shared. So, going to YouTube. Let's go ahead and go to YouTube. Let's get this thing nice and shared up. Okay, I cannot share apparently. What the hell? Go to my channel itself. Can I share it? Fucking hell, okay. So apparently I can't share. That's not good. Oh damn. Looks like I gotta share with it via this. So let me just go ahead and share. Let's go ahead and create a post, obviously. There we go. Okay. And that's one share. Let's go ahead and get it shared for everything else, because dear God. Okay. Alrighty then. Actually, hold up. Let's just go ahead and let's do it like this, actually. Let's go back to YouTube. Go to this. Make sure the stream's actually good. Okay. Because I want to make sure everything's good on the stream. Okay, everything seems to be good on the stream itself. So that should be good. Everything seems to be good on the stream itself. Anyway. Alright, so I'm going ahead and getting it shared to Discord, all that good jazz. While I'm sharing this to Discord, let me go ahead and move you guys over here, at least, on my Fallout Vault Boy stand. Anyway, though, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, Airsoft Al, currently sharing this on Discord. Let me see if I can get a live chat. There we go, live chat's on. So if you guys want to say anything, go ahead and say anything. Hit the like, all that good jazz. If you guys got questions already, go ahead and ask them, because I know everyone's going to probably be questioning, hey, what book? If you haven't checked out the video I uploaded, it's about the book itself and sort of what's going on with it. Again, I'm mostly doing a questions and answers type deal. Where are my glasses at? There are my glasses. Blue light glasses. I've actually been wearing these for a while now, and they have been helping my eyes, ironically enough. So, one of those things. And they were like $5, so $5 and below. Be fucking surprised what you can get at those places. Either way, though, as I was saying, if you guys want to share this, go ahead and share this. But like I said, if you guys haven't heard already, I am actually writing a book. The book itself is going to be based on my Milsim. For those who don't know, the Milsim, of course, is Operation Burning Star. It was going to be happening a couple of years ago, actually. I believe it was 2020 it was supposed to happen, or at least 2019. 2020 it was. 2020 it was supposed to happen. But then, surprise fucking surprise, COVID happens. The coof happens. And all that fun just goes away. Sorry, I can't exactly, do this, do that, and all that good jazz. Either way, though. Oh my goodness. Either way. Okay, let's let's see here. I'm keeping an eye on you and this at the same time, so, yeah. Here we go. Yes, fucking send to everyone, you little shit. You did one of those things. Either way, though, the big reason why I'm doing this is because I want to kind of get everyone to know, hey, you know, I've got a book going on, and this is why I'm doing this book and what the book is going to involve. So again, you know, just for those of you who are watching this well after the fact that this has gone live, please let me know in the comment section down below your questions. You know, I'll try and do another video answering a lot of the questions in the future. But like I said, one of those things. Let's see how this goes. Fucking send. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that should get people. Hoping. Either way, though. So, as I was saying, there we go. Okay. So, as I was saying, the big thing about the book itself is that, or at least the Milsim itself, was the Milsim originally was supposed to happen in April, or at least that was originally supposed to happen. It got moved to July. And it just kept getting moved back and moved back and moved back, that the coof and the plague just wasn't going to let us be able to do it because we couldn't adhere to the sort of guidelines that a lot of businesses were being basically restricted to on the whole thing of what you could and could not do. I didn't like that. I didn't like it, so just for safety's sake and safety reason, we couldn't hold the events. We couldn't hold the Milsim until the coof has been, the coof, the plague, all that good jazz has been officially cured, or at least brought down to enough to where people can safely be able to do things again. Do I believe that it will happen? I don't know. It's one of those hope deals. It's one of those things of, I really do wish it will happen, but again, just one of those things. Now, why is the book important, and how does it relate to this? And one of the big things that has been brought up is, are you fucking mad? It's never going to work because you're trying to base it on an airsoft event. Well, let me just go ahead and address one of those things. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I want to do it. I've had this idea for so long that I really, really want to do it. I really, really need to do it. I have essentially accumulated so many things that I cannot, for the life of me and in good conscience, just let it die out. I have put so much love into the Milsim side of it, the actual airsoft side of it, but when I started actually putting a lot of effort, when I started putting some effort into the story elements of it, the actual lore elements of it, then that's where I started seeing a lot of just, I've just, no joke, I started to get a lot of cool ideas. I started getting a lot of ideas, and when I started working with Ron the Black Cat, and I started reviewing his book, and then I started reviewing other books, and I just in the book reviews kept going. Uh, I started to actually get more ideas. I started to get really intrigued. I started to get curious of whether or not I should start writing. I mean, I had a Wattpad account, just to see what would happen. So I actually did. I went ahead and started putting a lot of stuff from my D&D sessions and my D&D my roleplay world up on Wattpad, and that actually started getting a little traction. And then I started reading some fan fictions, Ruby fan fictions. I started seeing how popular they were, and I was like, you know what? I want to see what I can do. I legitimately want to see what I can do. So I went with the safe bet in my story style, which is the best way to describe it is historical fiction, or at least historical writing of sorts, where it reads more or less like a history book, like a textbook almost. That's where I started doing that. And it got really popular. I mean, really popular. It wasn't pulling in, like, insane reads, but the last time I checked it, and let me just go ahead and check it right now. This is on my Wattpad account, which is linked in the description, by the way. Last I checked, the actual last read count was 6.9 thousand reads, with over 205 likes. That's insane, and that's not even counting the comments it probably has. So I really started getting really good with this, and it just kept going and going, and I was like, you know what? Let's actually try again. Let's see what else I can do. So, being that I am a huge fan of vampires, and I'm talking the classical vampires, the not the sparkling vampires, because vampires don't fucking sparkle. I started loving vampire. I started loving the vampire lore. I started looking into the vampiric lore. I started actually reading deep into it, and realized I could work with this. I could actually do something really cool with it. And then, of course, another author started doing his vampire novel, and it's a Jean Arc vampire story, but not like mine. His is not... It's more of a military operation, if anything else. But a mixture of Prussian and Germanic-style military tactics, or at least the sort of society he's built up. But it's one of those things. We're sharing the link on my Wattpad, actually, so, yeah, there's that. Okay. So that should be good. Anyway, I started actually writing the vampire Jean Arc fanfiction, and I started actually doing a little bit more into it, and I started really thinking about it. And my footage is getting choppy. What the hell? There it goes. Okay, the live stream is still somewhat choppy. I don't get that. Either way, though. So, the big thing about it is I started really thinking about it, because I started talking with this guy, Helix, and when I started writing the story itself, I started thinking, okay, what if I actually expand on this? Because you gotta understand, when I started writing the vampire Jean Arc fanfiction, I had just come off of the sort of the Jean Arc fanfiction set in my universe, where it was sort of space Slavs, communist type deal. So basically, for a word, the communist Jean Arc fanfiction that I used as a sort of template to test my writing skills and to see where I was at. And apparently 6.6 thousand reads later, it's really good. So I'm like, okay, let me try the traditional writing style and see if I'm any good at that. Well, I started the Jean Vladimir Tepish story, and 3.3 thousand reads later, apparently I'm doing something right. And that one is more, and the style I wrote that one is more of a sort of rule the world type deal, where essentially I kind of write in that, yes, and to some aspects this person is a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. His motivations is more or less he wants to stabilize the world and keep it from falling apart, keep it from all that good jazz. That was sort of the style I was going for, and again, 3.3k reads later, apparently I did good. Now understand, the reason I did these fan fictions was to test my styles, see if I'm any good at them. And the historical fiction, which was the fictional history book of the Communist Arc fan fiction, proved I'm actually pretty decent at writing a sort of history book. The Jean Vladimir Tepish book, which is a fan fiction, yes, but I wrote it in a way that's you're kind of wondering what he's going to do next, and sort of how this person is going to, what's the next move this person's going to do to sort of rule the world type deal. Sort of plant some seeds here and there to kind of give the readers something to speculate on, which, again, successful. So, the final test for my writing skills, which is the one I'm currently writing, I do go in between the 3 books. I've written to sort of refine my skills, my writing styles, which of course is a Rising of the Shield Hero fanfiction, except it is a soldier's point of view. A soldier's point of view of Rising of the Shield Hero and sort of his take on the world, except not any soldier. A member of the 5th Tennessee Volunteer Regiments, which is from my universe, which is from the Shiloh Fire universe, from the Operation Burning Star universe, the Milsim universe. I am using this as a sort of template to see how good I can do from a soldier's point of view. And so far, I'm actually doing okay with it. It's actually doing very well. It has over 332 reads and over 31 likes. That's actually not bad for just trying something out, seeing what works. And again, if you guys want to check out the stories yourself and sort of what I've published so far, link in the description down below to the Wattpad account where I will be publishing this story. But aside from testing out my skills and actually improving upon them, and believe me, I am improving upon them, what is the story going to be about, is your question probably. And by the way, I have the live chat on, so if you guys got questions, go ahead and sound off in the chat. I will try and make sure it's live chat. It is live chat. I will try and answer them as best as humanly possible. Let's see what is... Okay, just... Someone voted on the story again, so... Now it's 103 votes on my Jean Arc story. And now 32 votes on my Shield Hero story, so... Either way, though, you're probably questioning, what is the story about? Well, I want to write my story, the first story, based in my Milsim universe, as a soldier's point of view. Sort of what I'm doing with the Shield Hero story. But at the same time, I want to expand it and sort of switch between points of views. I want to switch from not only the soldier point of view to, of course, a secondary point of view somewhere else. Again, I haven't decided how I want to structure the story yet, but the general consensus for the story I want to do is a soldier's point of view from before the war to the start of the war to the middle point of the war to the end of the war, and then sort of give a hint as to what's going to happen in the future. Again, I don't know how I want to structure it, but I know how I want to plan it out. I don't know if I want to incorporate a sort of squad point of view, or even a sort of, basically a sort of wide point of view. I know I want to do it in the action. I know I want to do the action in the way of how I'm doing it, or how I learned how to do it from Starship Troopers, the book. How I learned how to do from the Starship Troopers book, where we basically see the action through the soldier's eyes. At the same time, kind of learn the world through the soldier's eyes. Again, guys, if you want to sound off in the chat, go ahead and sound off in chat. Excuse me. Because again, I do have live chat on, so I will be able to see what you say, and I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys got questions of the book itself, or the specifics, or anything of that nature, go ahead and sound off. But the big thing, of course, is that I don't have a name for it yet. We're actually doing a lot of workshopping. We are doing a lot of things for it. We are coming up with names for it. I've gotten a few names that, in my opinion, I don't like, so we're going to try and just sort of workshop that name. But as for the title, the book, the thumbnail, The thumbnail will be not a artist thing, not painted, not done up. It's going to be a practical photo. And by practical, I mean it's not going to be painted up. It's going to be an actual person with a real gun, or at least an airsoft gun, in a real environment to sort of convey what the reader is going to be experiencing, sort of convey what they are going to see and what they are going to read into it. That's what the cover is going to be. That's what I want the cover to be like. Again, that's sort of what I'm going for. As for... And by the way, for anyone who's wondering about these are blue light glasses. They more or less help filter out some of the lights that will be harmful to your eyes from the screen and from my phone here. And they were like $5 at Five Below. So they are working. My eyes don't hurt as much as they do before I got these. So one of those things. But again, if you guys got questions, please do sound off in chat. I'd love to interact with you guys. I'd love to hear from you guys. But either way, though. But actually, yeah, that's about it. That's about most of the stuff I can actually say right off the top of my head as to what I'm doing for it, what the structure of the book's going to be. Actually, for how long the book's going to be. Because it's going to be an online novel, I really don't know. I guess when I get to a point where I'm going to be satisfied with the ending, I guess that's where I can say, hey, this is how I want to end the book here. As for really anything, I can't say for certain. Because this is going to be online, I know for a fact I'm not going to censor anything. It's going to be definitely 100% not censored. It is not going to be more or less like a public... Actually, that is one thing I never really got to say. Well, before I get into that, I guess I should answer one question I got about, why the hell would I base this on a Milsim? That is something a lot of people are going to bring up, is why would you base this on a Milsim, an airsoft game? They're chaotic. They're not going to be, great for story structure. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm going in the same vein as Kaiserreich. Kaiserreich, for those of you who don't know, is a alternate history mod for Hearts of Irons 4. It is set in the interwar period after World War One, or at least, after World War One, where essentially the United States collapses, goes into a civil war. Europe is in flames, essentially. Britain is communist, and it is wholly insane. But the world itself is beautifully done. The storytelling is amazing, and the tons of fictions. I'm not going to say fan fictions, because each one is based off of a person's own playthrough. But each fan fiction itself, based in the Kaiserreich mod, is amazing. Even the Hearts of Irons fan fiction is amazing. But the big thing is the way the storytelling is that for Kaiserreich, you have the official storytelling, the story of the mod, and then you have the gameplay. The story and gameplay, while yes, may try to interact and interlock, the story is completely and wholly separate from the mod. The Kaiserreich story that we follow is the one that is wholly independent and does not require you to play the game. You can follow the story and not play the game and still enjoy the story. That is what I want to go for. What I want to go for is that I want to have a separate story from the game, from the Milsim, where you can enjoy the story and you can enjoy the Milsim. And if you want to enjoy both, you can enjoy both. But if you don't want to enjoy both, you can enjoy one wholly separate from the other. So that way, if you can't come to a game or you can't attend an Operation Burning Star Milsim or an Operation Shallow Fire Milsim, you can at least enjoy the story of the world I've created. And besides, of course, the United States point of view, I'm also wanting to incorporate a lot of points of views from around the world. Marine was actually one of the guys who I talked to in great length. He's an Indian. He is from India, or Hindu, however you want to call it. Correct me in the chat, is it Indian or Hindu that they call themselves? Because of, Native Americans, Indians over here in the U.S. Or Indianians, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Basically, he's from India. I believe he said he served in the military. So he has some experience with the Indian military and actually some of the patrols they did. But the big thing is that we talked in great length about, one of the elements of Operation Burning Star is World War III. China enacting World War III and attacking everyone. Attacking Russia, attacking Vietnam, attacking Europe, attacking India even, and attacking the South China Sea. We talked in great length about, how would India respond to this, and the way he explained it and the way we speculate on it, it made for great fiction, great alternate history fiction, great World War III fiction. We talked in depth enough to where it was enjoyable and was great. So I might talk to him about actually us working together and us actually do a spin-off book for Operation Burning Star and actually talk about, or at least explore the European theater, or even the Russian theater, or the Japanese theater, the South China Sea theater, or the Indian theater. Again, the world I'm building is just like Kaiserreich, where it is in fact alternate history, but unlike Kaiserreich, where it is set in the interwar period, the Operation Burning Star Milsim period, the Burning Stars world that I've created, is set in modern times. Ish. It's set more or less in the 2020s or the 2030s, early 2030s more or less, mid 2020s to late 2020s to early 2030s, more or less. And that is where I want to essentially expand upon it, where it's like, you have this, you have all this stuff here, you do have some of the technology, for semi-futuristic stuff, but then you have also these other things. You have modern stuff, but more or less near-futuristic. Either way, though, before I continue, any questions in chat? Because, again, I'd love to hear from you guys. Which, let me go ahead and check and see on the actual YouTube if chat is working, because unlike the phone chat and this chat, completely different things. So let me go ahead and check if chat is working for YouTube. And no. No one has said a thing. I'm disappointed in all of you. I'm disappointed in everyone. No one's saying a thing in chat. But, again, one of those things. But again, if you guys have questions by this point, go ahead and ask them. I have chat pulled up not only on my phone, but also on my laptop here. So if you guys want to ask any questions, be it on the fan fictions I have written, or sort of the skills I have obtained. Why are you streaming? Why I'm streaming? It's because I actually want to interact with people. I actually want to talk with people about this and sort of answer any questions they may have, because I know if I actually make a video, because I know once I've done a video on this, it is going to more or less generate more questions. So if I actually get questions on the stream and I actually do answer those questions about the book, then I can go ahead and have a thing saying, hey, here's some of the answers for that book, or at least why I'm doing this with the book, or why I'm posting it on this website, and why I'm not going through a publisher, or something along those lines. That's why I'm streaming, more or less. Anyway, like I said, this is a perfect time for you to answer questions, because I'm going to, like I said, I'm looking at the, yes, I'm actually, Abstract Airsoft, I am actually writing a book. Like I said, I am writing a book. It's more or less a sort of alternate history type deal. It is based on my Milsim that was going to happen before the COOF. And when we put a lot of effort into the gameplay element of it, then, well, I wouldn't say that, gentlemen, because if you go to my Wattpad account, and you actually look at some of the things I've written already, and actually look at the view count on it, you'll see that and each one of those fan fictions were more or less me testing out my skills in writing. For my Rising of the Shield Hero, it was 332 reads. For the Vampire Jean Arc fanfiction, it is 3,300 something reads. And for, of course, the literal communist Jean Arc story that I tested my skill out with, it is... Hey, Alexander. it's literally 6,000.9K reads. So before you even say anything, at least check your sources, motherfucker. But in all seriousness, though. Back to Abstract Airsoft's question. I'm writing it because I put a lot of effort into my Milsim that was going to happen. We actually had a good amount of people coming. We actually had sponsors come there. We had a lot of people actually ready to go. This thing was supposed to go live. And then the coof happened. The plague happened. I can't say the name of the thing because YouTube will flag this video and will... Yeah, we're not going to say the name of it. We're not going to say the name of the plague. All we're going to call it is the plague. Which promised us zombies and we didn't get zombies. But I put so much effort into this thing that I was bummed. I was upset that it wasn't going to happen. And I just was sad. Just sad. I literally put all this effort into it and it didn't happen. And then I started reading. I read America Another World and I really liked it. And then I started reading some of Alexander's works. I liked them. I read some of Marine's stuff. I like that. And I just kept reading and reading and reading and doing all these book reviews that you see on the channel. I started doing all these book reviews on the channel. And I started thinking, hey, why not? No, Abstract. It's not the genre. The fan fictions themselves were more or less testing ground. I started testing with fan fiction just to sort of you know, nail out my writing style, see what kind of style I have in terms of writing. And each one of the fan fictions I've written on is a different style. For the communist Jean Arc thing, you should make it about 80 prison... Anyway. Anywho, as I was saying, I started more or less testing it out. Are you talking? You're muted. People are saying they can hear me, so they're hearing me. So I don't know what's going on because my microphone is working. I am actually hearing myself on here. I'm sorry, Jessica. I wish I knew. Abstract Airsoft. Back to you though. But back to Abstract Airsoft. With each with each one, I tested out. With the communist Jean Arc story, I tested out my historical fiction style writing, where it literally reads like a history book. And you basically read it like a history book, where it has all these excerpts, and you have all these transcripts from phone calls or journal entries from all these people. And it did really well. Again, 6,000.9K reads. That did pretty well for it. So I was like, okay, let's try a more traditionalist style of writing, which you would see in a... no, I don't have my Pulse R76. It might be an issue on your end, because let me unmute myself. I can hear myself. I can legitimately hear myself, ladies and gentlemen. Anywho. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. Yeah, let me go ahead and restart the stream from my... let's go ahead and restart the stream. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know if you can actually hear me great or not, or maybe one of those things. Either way, though, back to Abstract Airsoft's question. Yeah, I completely agree. Hold on, let me grab my headphones. Let me grab my headphones real quick. Alright, let me see if that works. Alright, let me see if that works. Yeah, that works. That works out pretty well, actually. Back to the chat and back to abstract airsofts. I don't know then. Clockwork, I got no clue. Like the game? I think the Worms, the game, is actually okay. I mean, it's from my childhood, so yeah, I think it's okay game. Uh, Either way, though. Back to Abstract's question. But Alexander does bring up a good point, actually, that fan fictions are a double-edged sword. And that was something I didn't want to... Thank you, Alexander. Was something I didn't want to do was more or less it come off as lazy or it come off as more or less unoriginal. And ironically enough, it hasn't come off as either of that. I mean, again, if you actually go down to the link in the description and you actually click on it, you will find my Wattpad account where I will be publishing this story. But Abstract, the reason I did the fanfiction thing was more or less, like I said, to basically hammer out all the details. For the communist Jean Arc story, it was more of a historical fiction where it reads out like a history book. For the vampire Jean Arc story, it's more of a, it's a bad guy, but not a bad guy, quoting Wreck-It Ralph, where, blah, 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 blah. Where more or less, you're wondering what his next move is. Who will he kill next, or will not kill next? Who will he turn to a vampire type deal? More or less a sort of a thriller type deal where you're questioning what's going on. For the Shield Hero fanfiction, trying to get my words to work here. For the Shield Hero fanfiction, it's more of a soldier's point of view. For the little story, it's called A Soldier Turned Hero. So I kept reading all these Shield Hero fanfictions where all these different heroes kept coming in, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to try something. I am legitimately going to try this. So I took the Milsim faction, one of the Milsim factions, which was the Tennessee Volunteer Regiments, and essentially put in this soldier from the Tennessee Volunteer Regiments into it. Literally gets plucked out from the front lines in Colorado and gets put into the Shield Heroes world, and we see how a soldier would handle this isekai situation. But what I'm doing with that is testing out leftover gear. The Milsim was Operation Burning Star, which we do have a Facebook on. I've done videos on in the past, and it was going to happen, but then the plague hit, and we couldn't really conform with the government restrictions and the government basically telling us, hey, you have to do these guidelines if you're doing anything. And the Tennessee government's restrictions for the plague was a little bit much for us, so we basically couldn't do it. We still can't do it because a lot of the restrictions we just can't follow. So we have to wait until the plague is either cured or completely dies off before we even consider, hey, it's safe enough to actually host Operation Burning Star as a Milsim event. I mean, the page is still up. You can find the event, Operation Shiloh Fire, on there, which was going to be our first Milsim. But, again, we never really got a chance to. And for those of you who never got the question answered of, why would you base this on an Airsoft Milsim event, that is absolute suicide in terms of storytelling. It's not really again, going back to Kaiserreich, it's basically going to be like Kaiserreich, where you don't have to understand the story to enjoy the game. It's more of they're both separate, and if you want to combine both to have an enjoyable experience, you can. But if you if you enjoy the story, then that's cool. And if you're enjoying the story and you find out about the event, then you can go and enjoy the event. And if you're enjoying the event and you find out about the story, then you can go enjoy the story. Again, two separate entities, but linked in the sense of you're enjoying this. Again, that's more or less what we're doing. My password got leaked on Milchan. I don't think so. I don't know. I know we've changed our password recently. We actually updated our passwords this past weekend, actually, for all accounts. So the old password shouldn't be effective anymore. And even if it was, me, Apex, and all the other content creators who are actually on this channel do still have access to the main stuff, so we're able to change up the password on the fly and communicate with each other about it. So I really don't know what you're talking about. My thoughts on the VFC Avalon, I think it's okay. It's just another M4. It's another AR-15, essentially. That's about it, really. I still think it's okay, but me personally, I'd probably just mag pull it. Like, well, it's not an M4. Leftover gears. I think it kind of depends. Like, we talking straight up, like, what upgrades am I putting into the Double Eagle to have it compete with the Avalon, or are we talking just, straight up out of the box? Because if it's just straight up out of the box, then yeah, no, the Avalon is going to outperform the Double Eagle. Range and accuracy? It's kind of a hard one, actually, because you have to take into account... yes, I have, actually. I have shot a VFC gun before. I can't remember. It was at Op 31. I know it was at Op 31 back in the day, and it was the VFC... Shit, I can't remember the name of it. I think... It was the VFC Tavor, I think? No, I don't own a VFC. Sad to say. I did have a D-Boy Scar, a Scar L, long ago, and sadly that's now with Ben being repaired. But the only other actual fully upgrade gun I did have, put $500+ into, was the M16. The M16A1 that I did build up into a Magpul M16A1. And that was like a $500 build. But the body finally cracked after so many uses of it and so many hard play into it, because the main body of the gun itself was actually donated to us. It was a polymer M16A1 from SEMA, which was a... no, Abstract Airsoft, that's the thing, because I don't do FARB, I do what I like. Sure, Jessica, you can actually. The email should be on the main YouTube channel itself. It should be on the main YouTube channel. But the only other actual upgrade gun I have, which let me go ahead and pick you guys up and take you over here. Move over here real quick. Is, of course, this. My M4. My Magpul PTS M4. It's only a real quote-unquote high-end gun I have, besides a lot of handguns. Oh my goodness. The PEC box I have on there is actually supposed to be that big. It's based off of the older PEC boxes from like the... I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. I know it's based off of an old PEC box from like the early to mid 2000s. Did you put that on there ironically? No, I didn't. It's more or less supposed to be, it's a battery box, actually. Because my gun is front wired, I have to put a LiPo that is way too big for the Magpul handguard into it. No, I don't run nods, Jessica. I wish I had nods. I wish I had the money to run nods, because if I did, I'd be a happy, happy boy. I'd be able to shoot coyotes in my yard much easier. But what can you do? But the reason I have that PEC box is it's a battery box. Not with these batteries. My battery is like huge. It's like a huge box. I think I have it over here, actually. No, I don't. I do not. It's a Titan PEC battery, and it is massive. What do I do for work to afford all these guns? YouTube. That's about it. YouTube. And the donations we actually get through the PayPal, as well as the money we get through the custom gun services, because we've had a lot of people actually use the custom gun services that we offer. AN/PECBox2. Thank you, Abstract. Not unemployed, just we can't run the family shop. I'm getting back to why I have the PEC box on there now, because you guys are distracting me. I'm all over the damn place. The reason we have the PEC box on, the reason I have the PEC box on there is because I'm going for a retro look. I like retro. I love retro. Always loved retro. I mean, yeah, sure, tactical's cool and all, but I love the stylized look of retro, like diesel punk almost, where you look at a diesel punked FNFAL. It still has that lovely line, that lovely abstractness that it has with that classical design of the Belgians that put it into it, that FN put into it. But when you put into a little bit of retroness into it, a little bit of steampunk into it, a little bit of diesel punk, well, that's the thing. When you look at Magpul itself, you actually see retro meets modern. You see the sort of, not postmodernism, but actual modernism into it. You see the triangular handguard of the old M16A1, but the ability to actually add Picatinny to make it more modern, to give you that sort of extra tacticalness to it, to be able to put any sort of attachments into it, thanks to the M-Lock system. So about the custom gun service, what do you do with that? Are you doing the custom work or someone else doing that? Okay, so to answer Jessica, Ben is actually doing that. Ben is our guy up in New York who actually does work at a knife shop to do custom work on knives and guns, and he's actually doing a lot of the work that we actually offer. One of the services that we do is, of course, the service rifle kit. A service rifle kit is more or less where you actually, where we have synthetic wood M16A1 parts, be it the pistol grip, not his knife shop. It's actually his friend's knife shop that he works at, and they both customize airsoft guns and do some real steel. Not really, Jessica. He's shy on. He doesn't really like doing. I can't remember the name of it, but Ben does have the email account on his videos that he has done for the channel, and you can actually go back and find the videos that he's done for the AK, for some of the custom AKs he's actually built and selling. A lot of them actually do have custom stained wood, real wood parts on those AKs. He does a lot of actual, like, good custom works, and even I myself have actually brought up to him saying, hey, I don't like the fact that I'm not really doing a lot for the service. Can you let me at least help out with something? And he's actually said, no, you don't have to, because, I like doing this. You've given me something to do. Believe me, I brought up multiple times to him how I want to help out. Where do I fit into the equation is more or less I'm the promo guy. Literally, we've had this conversation multiple times of where do I fit into this. He wants me to help promote the service. He wants me to help promote the items. And when he does actually get the hell out of New York, Escape from New York, that was a good movie. Such an underrated movie. Back on topic, and not for Patrick Swayze. Not Patrick Swayze. God damn it, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell was the guy. Or was it Patrick Swayze? Was Snake. I'm sorry, I got distracted. sadly, because of COVID, God damn it. Great, now this video is going to have plague information now in the description. I don't really play at fields because of the plague restrictions hitting the area in Tennessee. A lot of fields in West Tennessee have either closed up or have just straight up shut down. A lot of them cannot meet the requirements by the government, so a lot of fields have closed or are trying to meet the requirements by the government to follow the plague restrictions and the plague requirements for you to be able to operate your business. So, the field I used to play at a lot when I did have money to do it was Op 31. That was about a 25-minute drive from me. But what I did want to do back then was more or less go to the bigger fields, but because of gas prices at the time and me and my friends having to, because I never went alone. I always went with friends. I always went out with friends because that's what we promised ourselves. We promised, hey, we either go out together as friends, as a squad, and go have fun, or we more or less just, don't go at all. And we save up our money and we try to do it the next day. Or we do something. So most of the time it was mostly me hosting games at lands that would allow us to. One was from a Gulf War veteran named Josh. Has 180 acres of land, and he loves airsoft. So what he's doing right now with his land, here's the thing though, I don't have a car. And I can't afford the insurance, especially not with fucking COVID right now. And the fact of my family shop shut down because of COVID restrictions. Well, fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and say COVID. And even then, a lot of places won't hire because apparently you have to have gotten the COVID shot. And I ain't getting the damn COVID shot. I'm one of those guys who's a little freaked out when a new strand of virus is going around. But that's a video for another day. Back to what I was talking about with Josh's place. Josh, who's a Gulf War veteran and actually did serve in the Gulf War and Desert Storm U.S. Army, gotta love the guy. I really do. So, with that, we were able to actually move on to his field. We were actually able to play at his field. And we tried saying, hey, we'll happily charge for it. We'll happily pay you to be on your field. He basically said, nah. Because he wanted to keep his skills sharp from when he was in the Army. He wanted to have some guns to be able to, train up his kids and something to help train his kids. So that way they can defend themselves. And yes, these are verbatim from what he's told me. And he even asked me to build him a custom M16 based on the M16 he was issued during his time in the Army from the Gulf War to Desert Storm. And I was like, sure, I can do that. So I literally built him an M16 based on the one he was issued with. He actually gave me photos of the M16 he was issued with. So I was like, hey, that's perfectly great. That's perfectly fine. Hola from Brazil. Sorry if I don't speak Spanish all that well. But to leftover gear, Josh wants to actually open an airsoft field on his land. He is actually wanting to turn into a resort and airsoft field. So I think Jessica was a fake account for a troll. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with that. I let the admins handle that. I'm answering your questions, more or less. So, to leftover gear. Oh, you're Portuguese. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I assumed you were Brazilian because you said Brazil on there. Just, my bad. But, in terms of physical condition, I live on a farm. So I'm literally working out every day whenever I'm literally moving trees, cutting down trees, slaughtering animals to eat. I know a lot of people are going to be squeamish at that idea, but we do kill animals to eat them
we do actually go out into the woods and we do actually shoot a deer to drag back and skin and eat and all that. So I'm not worried about my own physical. Uh, Again, not my control. That's Alexander's control. So, just one of those things. But back to you, left. Back to abstract airsoft. In terms of actually outperforming, just because I'm not able to play airsoft doesn't mean I'm not practicing airsoft. I'm not practicing every day. I'm not, uh, not playing, or at least simulating playing every day. I'm not running a sort of course. I'm not uh, able to more or less. Basically, what I'm saying is that I'm so used to playing in the woods that I can just basically get geared up and do an exercise in the woods, where I literally start from point A, move my way to point B. I don't have a pull-up bar, and I literally do not have a pull-up bar. I can do 5 push-ups if you want me to do that. Will push-ups work? Are you guys cool with push-ups? Because I literally have no pull-up bar. I mean, my pull-up bar is literally a tree branch, and it's dark outside. Like, it is. All right, push-ups. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Want to go with 5 more? You want to go 5 more? I can do 5 more here. My phone is currently kind of at an angle, so you can't really see what is going on, but my back is fully straight. But I am kind of in a cramped spot. So literally, I'm in a cramped spot, so I can't really spread my arms out as best as they could be. So, yeah. Anyway, though. My room is clean. Hello, Isis. Hey, kitty. Hey, Isis. You want to say hello to the people? Hey. Hey. Want to say hello to people? Hello. My cat. She is adorable, but she can be a diva. She literally can be a diva. Either way, though. So, the reason you're probably wondering about all this is because not too long ago we had a tornado. We had a tornado come through and, sad to say, once again, kind of mess up my land. Well, I'm kind of talking and not breathing at the same time. So, yeah, I do actually talk a lot, and my throat is starting to get a little sore because I usually do a lot of deep voice. I'll usually do a lot of funny voices. I'll usually do a lot of anything, and it's just one of those things. But back to what I was saying and answering about the clean room situation is because we had a tornado come through not too long ago, and a lot of the stuff that we could save is more or less in my room, as well as the exercise room, the guest room, bathroom, ironically enough. Any place where we can actually protect the stuff that we hold dear and cherish is either in boxes or just brought up here into the house. So, yeah, one of those things. But, like I said, just we could save what we could and couldn't save what we can't. So, literally anything we could save was brought in my room, into any room in the house, really, in the carport, into the shed that still needs to be repaired, sadly. At least it has a roof over it. So, either way, though, let me go ahead and let's see. Anywho. Thank you, Carlos. Not really my house, it's the family farm. I am the 5th generation farmer on here. My little brothers is the 6th and 7th generation farmers. We work this land. We work these lands. We build on these lands. We hunt on these lands. What do we farm? Yes. Yes. To expand why I say that, we have farmed everything from oranges to apricots to rutabagas to corn, more corn, So much corn. Dear God, all the corn. I still have nightmares about shoveling the corn from that damn field. I ain't farming no more corn. I ain't. But back to a more or less scary subject and less Stephen Kingy subject. We've farmed strawberries. We've done cucumbers. Uh, I did have a Crytek in my collection left over, but that was Tony's, or aka Apex's Crytek. So I did the review on that and then sent it back to him and sent it off with him when he left back to Pennsylvania. Yeah, it was Pennsylvania. They left back to. Oh my God, let me get a drink. Ugh. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate Crytek. Same thing as my family, but we live on the city, and once a week we go to check on the farm. Yeah, I've lived in this house since the day I was born. My mom has lived in this house since the day she was born. My grandmother lived in the house since the day she was born. Basically, every single family member of my family who has lived on this farm has lived and died on this farm, including, God rest his soul, my Vietnam War era grandpa, who sadly in 2013 died of spinal cancer from Agent Orange when he was deployed in Vietnam. I still miss him. I really do. But moving on from the sad, morbid fact that I will one day die on this farm, much like the family members before me, including the first generation who died thankfully, peacefully in their sleep. Swear to God, my house is haunted. Swear to God, it is. Just one of those things. But anyway, though, before anyone says anything negative about it, farming is actually a lot more affordable and much more free, actually a lot more invigorating and freedom than actually living in the city. You can actually dictate your own hours, you can actually do a lot of your own stuff that you wouldn't be able to do in the city, and one of the things I absolutely do love about it is the fact of we can hunt and kill our own food. Can't do that in the city unless you're actually going after rats, or anything else of the sort of vermin variety, which, before anyone says anything, rats are actually delicious. Yes, I've eaten rats. It was in Louisiana. I don't know what you're talking about, Carlos. I haven't really seen anything on my end. Then again, I've been talking to the camera here on my phone and not really looking at the chat all that much. And even then, there's like a slow delay between the chat on the YouTube channel and the chat on this. So if anything does happen, it's usually delayed on this. And even then, just one of those things. But Impaler, yeah, no, it's like... well, yes, I have eaten rat before. Ironically enough, it was in Louisiana, back when my dad was going on his second or third deployment to Afghanistan, and we went to this restaurant in Louisiana that sold rats, cooked rats, ironically enough. I cannot remember the name of it because I was really, really young at the time, but we ate rat, and it was actually delicious. It was in a béarnaise sauce. Which brand is better, VFC or LCT? I think what you need to ask is which brand is better, or not better, is more accurate. VFC makes actually some really good stuff, but when it comes to LCT is a lot more detailed. They actually do go the extra mile of not only incorporating real steel components, such as the bodies, the stocks, and of course other elements of the real steel into the body itself, whether it being stamped steel or milled, but they also incorporate a lot of really cool stuff that I really do wish a lot of other airsoft companies would do. Like LCT actually incorporates I'm not joking on this, an actual real bolt system where you actually can insert a bolt, an AK bolt, into like you would an actual AK, and it does give you that actual reciprocating bolt and actual feeling of a bolt coming home, coming back, and then going home, as well as the satisfying and oh so satisfying just metallic clack everyone knows of the AK-4. As to whether or not I've purchased anything from those brands, I've tried. But anytime I've ever tried, it's usually they're sold out, or they're way too goddamn expensive, and or I'm just got to wait. Impaler, I'm a family ate wild pigeons. Pigeons? You've eaten pigeons? Uh, Pigeons or pigs? I know we raise pigs here on this farm. We do eat those pigs. But I don't know about, pigeons before. I know people have eaten pigeons before, but, uh, really? Holy shit. I thought they were sold out, but, anyway. Either way, though, I haven't had pigeon myself, but I know of people who have had pigeons before, and they say with the right sauce, they taste good. I wouldn't know. I mean, I've eaten gator, I've eaten finch, I've eaten, unironically, I have accidentally eaten buzzard before. It was a prank from my cousin who actually killed a buzzard and mistook it for something it wasn't, and I had to literally yell at him, asking him, why the hell would you mistake a buzzard for something else? Granted, the fact he was drunk at the time probably helps. We do not have Super Chat, actually. That is the one thing I am trying to do, is actually try and get Super Chat set up, so that way people can actually Super Chat some stuff over. But if you really want to help donate, much like everything and every time we say it on the channels, the book reviews, the takedown guides, the upgrade, the reviews, or any of the videos itself, if you want to help out the channel and you want to actually support the company, because here's the thing, we've actually were able to change my channel over to the company name, because that's a whole thing in of itself. Yeah, more or less just donate on the PayPal, more or less, if you want to help out. Aside from that, though, the big thing is that, and getting back to why I started this stream in the first place, the reason I want to write this book is because I just want to do it. I literally want to write this. I have this in my mind. I have this idea, this world spinning around in my head, besides my D&D campaign. Yeah, I'm literally writing a book about my Milsim world that I have had in my brain, literally just spinning around in my head. And I want to put onto digital paper. By the way, you can find the account that I'll be writing on in the description. So check out the description and you'll be able to find my Wattpad account that you can go follow, or, just all that good things. But the biggest reason why I'm wanting to do this is because I want to share this world with people. Much like Kaiserreich, I want to share this world. And with all the fan fictions I've written so far, it helps me improve my writing style. It helps me sort of understand where I want to go with this story, where I want to explore this story. Because the first, I guess I want to say, book in this whole thing is I want to explore the American side of the conflict that is portrayed in the book, or at least that my Milsim portrays, where it's literally World War III and the U.S. is plunged into a communist invasion. The different airsoft fields are boring, like on a 3-lane path. It depends. Impaler. It depends on how the field's set up. If it's set up in a way to where, much like any sort of cult classic movie, where you enjoy it over and over and over again, and you discover little details with every watch you get, like Starship Troopers, Commando, Terminator, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, because, those movies are fucking awesome, and the other Terminator movies didn't happen. You know the ones I'm talking about. Or much like a good Call of Duty game, or a Battlefield game. The 3-lane aspect is good. Which M4? Because I've got several. But either way, though, back to Impaler's question. As long as the field is set up in a way to where it's not boring and you have it down pat to where it is enjoyable, then yeah, the 3-lane prospect is actually a good prospect. Oh, you mean the Magpul PTS M4? Okay. let me bring you guys over here. Okay, let me bring you guys. Let me have you guys. Okay, son of a bitch. Let me see if I can't spin you guys around. Okay, here we go. So, let me grab this. Bring this over here in the light. Here we go. So, let me go over to my YouTube thing. Let me look here. Let me look on the YouTube chat. PEC Box 1 Double Eagle is usually seen as a very cheap brand, bad brand. What do you think? Why do you like it so much? Can you wipe the lens? Hold on. Let me wipe the lens a little bit. There we go. All right, so let me go in and explain this. Because this originally was supposed to be the Magpul PTS M16A1. The reason I did that was because it was supposed to go along with the Milsim. When I built the gun in general, I did it on the sense of I'm sent on the front lines with an M16A1. How am I going to improve upon it? What am I going to do with it? But still keep that sort of classic M16 look. So from a distance, the enemy will think, oh, it's just a old gun. There's no way that's going to be actually effective. And then when they start getting closer to the gun, they start thinking, oh crap, that's actually a really decent gun, and that's actually kicking my ass. Which, yes, of course, the whole thing. What's the gear ratio? I don't know. I don't know. But the gearbox itself is a standard G&G gearbox, front wired, with a Star 3500 RPM motor. But back to more or less what I was doing, because originally this was the M16A1 Magpul PTS. I have a whole video series on it. You can go watch, and you can go check it out. As for this, however, I went to the drawing board for it. I spent 2 years building this. Yes, 2 years. This was after the M16 had bit the dust. So, let's go ahead and go over what I did and why I did it real quick. More or less, I wanted to keep the solid stock idea, because in the woods, I have actually found that in my experience, I don't know about your experience, in my experience, solid stocks work better for me in the woods than they do, the collapsible stocks. I kept the solid stock aspect. It's a Star, WEI, Star motor. Amp Airsoft, I believe, is the company that makes it. So, yeah. Reason I went with Magpul is because, once again, the whole classical aspect of it. The solid stock I like because, it's carbine length. It's in that length of pull I like. It's comfortable. It works for me. That's what works. I went with the PTS grip because, again, the PTS grip is nice. It works. It's great. I don't know how to shim gears. The Magpul magazine. This is actually a rare one because they don't make these anymore. This is a legitimate Magpul PTS magazine. You have the logo there for the Magpul. This was actually sent in by a U.S. Army veteran who saw my build and wanted to help contribute to it. So, moving that up here. This isn't the original carry handle that's on it. The other carry handle is being cleaned, sad to say. I don't know how to do shimmed gears. Also, over 20 takedown / mod guides, so one of those things. But this is where I wanted to actually talk about. This handguard. This is what actually sparked me to go with Magpul because of the triangular features of it. It may be sad to you, but it's good to me. I mean, if it works, it works. It's sort of the Southern motto is, if a shotgun works and it still pumps and it can still shoot someone, then the thing works. And yes, that is an actual thing for farmers with daughters. If the shotgun can shoot the guy who's trying to date your daughter, then the shotgun works. But yeah, if you look at the actual profile of the handguard itself, it's got that nice triangular feature of it. That's why I went with the handguard. It's because it combines modern with retro. It combines the aspects of the original triangular M16A1 handguard, because the actual thing related to shotguns is related to women, because believe me, I've been threatened before by a farmer who thought I was dating his daughter when in reality I was her friend. And believe me, you start really praying to God when you have a 12 gauge pointed right at your face. Well, that's the thing. I'm still learning. Much like with anything in life, everyone has to learn still. And I'm still learning. Yeah, that's sort of a southern thing. That's natural in the South. You'd be surprised how overprotective people can be with their daughters, especially in the South. Like, seriously, try approaching a guy's daughter and make him think you're dating her. He will threaten you. No, I was just sitting on the porch giving her advice because she wanted to tell her dad that she was dating this guy I knew, and I was giving her advice on how to tell him she was dating someone. Next thing I know, I hear turn around, there's a 12 gauge pointing out by my face because he thought I was dating her. Oh, no, I'm the one who actually automatically friend zones everyone because I'm not looking for a relationship. Especially in this day and age where everyone's a thought or they're trying to blackmail you. But either way, though, the other small touches I went with this was, of course, my America and the ambidextrous mag release because, well, a lot of times I will have this set up on something to where I really have to keep my hand on the trigger at all times, and I have been in situations where I've literally had to send a lot of rounds downrange and could not get my finger off the trigger, so I literally would flip it back around, literally reach up, grab the magazine release, pull down, put the new magazine in there, and just continue firing. I never said I wasn't going to get married. I'm just saying I'm not dating right now. I've just got no aspects of dating at the moment. I want to in the future, but at the moment, not so much. And believe me, it's not that I don't want a relationship. I do want a relationship. It's just every person I've ever talked to online has either been a 27. Actually, I'm 27 years old, and I've been in relationships before in college, but all those ended in heartbreak and sadness from both a Puerto Rican guy and a black girl. Then I realized you shouldn't keep more than $200 in your wallet, because walked in on both of them stealing money from it. Yes, I'm 27. Was born in the 90s. Still remember Y2K like it was a thing. Well, like it was yesterday, actually. Oh, dear God, I've got to do a Y2K video explaining my time in Y2K and what Y2K was like. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun New Year's Eve. But either way, though, back to Impaler and, of course, Carlos's thing. More or less, I am writing a book based on my Milsim game where, again, if you really want to check it out and sort of my testing phase and sort of me testing out my writing styles, link in the description down below. And congratulations to your brother, Carlos. I wish them all good things and shalom. Yes, I'm half Jewish, by the way. Which, believe me, being half Jew, not a fun thing when you're around a lot of leftists in college, because I've been... when you meet your father... let me see here. Here on Brazil, when you meet the father of your girlfriend, he's going to catch you to locked room and starting literally an interrogation with you. That's... I'm not poor. It's more or less of, in my family, we're good. It's just in my family, our philosophy is that if you cannot get a job or you cannot sustain yourself, then at least you're going to work. So literally, because of the COVID and us literally having to shut down the family shop, I'm literally working the farm. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to do what I do best and do what I do, and that's make people laugh. I mean, hell, a lot of people have misconceptions about the YouTube channel thinking I started YouTube because I want to make money. No, I want to make people laugh. Either at me or with me, I love seeing people smile. I love seeing people laugh. I've always been the jokester in either high school or college. I've always loved raising people's spirits. Even if they cringe laugh at me, I always want to make people laugh. Like, legitimately, that's what I believe God put me on this earth for, is because I have a natural way of making people smile. Even though I may hide scars in me, and Even if I'm down in the dumps, at least I'm content knowing that when people watch my videos and they legitimately laugh at me, or they're laughing at me, or they're making fun of me, they're being happy. They're being happy in what they do, and that makes me happy because I want to make people happy. That's it. And if you want to make fun of me for it, go ahead. That's the point. I want you to be happy doing what you do. So if you want to make fun of me, make fun of me, but be creative about it. Now that you know I'm Jewish, at least be creative with your Jew jokes, or at least half Jew, but you know what I'm saying. I don't do what I do to make money. Do I do it to try and make money because we live in a capitalist society and to basically help support the thing I do that makes people happy? Then yes. Do I do it to try and pocket it myself? No. I do it to try and improve the thing that I'm doing to make money. More or less, I make money to try and put back into the thing that makes money so I can make more money to put back into the thing that's making money. Basically, make people happy because I like making money to put it back into the thing of money because it likes doing all that. Get it, got it, good. Try and translate that shit. But in all seriousness, though, I'm really hoping that you guys actually do enjoy the book. And if you guys got any questions about the book, and if you're looking forward to it, then let me know in the chat. And if you guys are actually looking at my Wattpad and you are seeing all the stuff I've ever written, all the stuff I've ever done, please do leave the love and leave actual legitimate improvement tips to help improve my writing style. Because again, I'm still new to writing and I want to make this really good. Because again, this is my baby I want to do and I want people to enjoy it. While at the same time still not correcting me as I would in a movie where it gets every single gun thing wrong. Like, for God's sakes, people. Keep your finger off the trigger. Like seriously. Movies. Fingers off the trigger. Stop flagging people. Magazine is not a clip. It is magazine. A clip is a strip of metal that holds bullets. And bullets are not the same as cartridges. Cartridges hold the bullets. And the bullets go through the barrel. Oh, sorry, I blacked out there. What was I saying? Anyway. But yeah, no. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al, and thank you guys. If it wasn't for you guys who have always watched this channel for years now, and literally, if it wasn't for you guys who've been watching this channel for years, and thank you, Carlos. Oh my goodness. Alexander, you guys are amazing. You know what? I'm going to have you on the channel, Alex. By the way, everyone, this is Alexander. He is the mod, and he is also an author on Wattpad. He makes a lot of good books. I've actually reviewed his books before. So please do go give him some love. Give him some love, guys. Just give him a round of applause. But seriously, though, thank you guys. Because knowing that I've made people smile, knowing that I've made people happy, even if they're laughing at me, even if I'm the butt of their jokes, makes me happy. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, even if you don't like me, even if you have an issue with me and my politics or my view on life or anything, then know now that it's not an attic. This is actually my mom's old room. Like, legitimately, this isn't an add-on to the second story. I wish I was joking on that. This is legitimately an add-on to the, like, I know it may seem like an attic. No, the attic is above me. And there's a fucking raccoon that lives up there. Like, no joke. We've been trying to get this raccoon out of the attic. No, it's legitimately true. I was actually 4 years old when Mom was actually building this with Dad, and I remember playing with the sawdust in this very floor, because, you know, you're young and you think sawdust is so cool because it's somehow like sand, yet soft like a blanket. Come to think about it, when we were young, we were very, very stupid as kids. We were very stupid. Oh well, hindsight's 2020. Yes, were. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yes, it is. Like I said, this is going to be a video on demand stream, so more or less just all your questions that have been answered will be here. I'm only going to do more streams in the future where I actually will bring you guys on to sort of... I am going to end it. I'm going to end it after I say this. Thank you. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for always being here since 2016. You guys have been here since my college days when I used to do stupid little videos. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for either making me the butt of the joke, for either laughing at my jokes, or just being happy in general. And know now that at the end of the day, we're all gonna die, and the only people who care about us is probably God, the people around us, and people who can literally make jokes out of us after our death. And after this, I'm probably going to have an existential crisis at realizing that we're all going to die one day. Or I'm going to watch an Eddie Murphy movie. Probably watch an Eddie Murphy movie. Either way, thank you all for watching, and thank you guys to those who have donated on our channel, and I hope you've learned a lot. Once again, Wattpad is in the description down below, and hope you enjoy what I've written. Till next time.